Imagine this. It's the year 1350. You're a blacksmith. Your hands are calloused. Your tools are few. But your reputation? That's everything. Fast forward to 2025. You're not hammering steel anymore. You're building your career on LinkedIn. Connections, endorsements, online portfolios, different tools, same game. But here's the real kicker. What if I told you the networking culture we see today isn't new at all? It's medieval. Literally. Let's go back in time, and you'll see just how much of your modern hustle is built on old-school brotherhood. Back in the Middle Ages, if you wanted to work as a carpenter, a weaver, or a goldsmith, you couldn't just start. You had to earn your place in a guild. Guilds were exclusive. You joined as an apprentice, lived with your master, worked for years, sometimes decades, before becoming a master yourself. But here's the thing. It wasn't just about skill. It was about trust, honor, and standards. If one blacksmith sold a crappy sword, it didn't just ruin his name. It stained the whole guild. Quality was a shared responsibility, and the guild protected its own. Let's get something straight. Medieval guilds weren't just job boards or trade unions. They were families. They were communities. And, for a lot of people, they were the only real protection you had in a brutal world. We're talking about a time before health insurance, before labor laws, before any real safety net. So if you got injured while working, if your house burned down, or if your tools were stolen, your guild had your back. They'd collect funds to help you recover. They'd make sure your family didn't starve. And if you died young, and a lot of people did, they'd take care of your widow and your kids. In some cities, guilds even ran hospitals and orphanages. Sounds like a mix between a GoFundMe, a local church, and a neighborhood watch, right? But it was even more than that. Every guild had rituals, traditions, feast days, even secret ceremonies. Joining wasn't just about learning a skill. It was about becoming part of something bigger than yourself. It gave people a sense of identity, purpose, and pride. You didn't just say, "I'm a shoemaker." You said, "I belong to the Guild of Cordwainers of Paris." And that meant something. Fast forward to now, and let's talk about LinkedIn. Yeah, it's easy to roll your eyes at the corporate buzzwords and humble brag posts, but think deeper. LinkedIn is doing something ancient, something very guild-like. When you update your profile, when you list your certifications, when you connect with peers, you're building your digital professional identity. That's what guilds were for. They gave you status. They verified your skill. On LinkedIn, your endorsements and recommendations, those are your badges, your guild seals, and those networking posts where someone's like, "Hey folks, I'm looking for a new opportunity. Here's my portfolio." That's the modern version of standing in the town square and declaring your craft to the community. Even the way we message people, share knowledge in niche groups, or give each other shout-outs, it's not new. It's just digital. It's a medieval guild, but with Wi-Fi. So let's lay it all out. Medieval guilds and modern networking platforms serve the same human needs: recognition, connection, security, growth, but the tools have evolved. Guilds had physical workshops where people learned hands-on. Today, we have Zoom calls, YouTube tutorials, and Slack communities. Guilds held secret rituals and gatherings to build trust and loyalty. Now, we've got conferences, webinars, and Discord meetups. Guilds protected the reputation of the craft. Today, it's online reviews, Glassdoor ratings, and public LinkedIn feedback. But here's the real twist. In the Middle Ages, if you were outside the guild, you couldn't work. You couldn't sell your product. You were on your own. And today, that hasn't changed much. Try getting hired without a portfolio. Try launching a business without a community. Without your network, without your platform, you're invisible. So, yeah, you might not call it a guild, but it acts like one, and it shapes your career more than you realize. So maybe you're thinking, okay, cool, medieval guilds and LinkedIn have some things in common, but nobody joins guilds anymore, right? Not exactly. The spirit of the guild is still alive. Look around. Professional associations, startup accelerators, Discord groups for designers, Slack communities for coders. Those are today's guilds. Let's take a few examples. The American Bar Association, total guild energy. You can't just practice law, you gotta earn your place. pay your dues, and follow the code. Tech communities like Indie Hackers or Dev.to, they've got mentorship, shared values, and people helping each other level up. Even something like Patreon is a kind of guild economy. Creators supporting each other, building niche audiences, and relying on a community, not corporations. And here's where it gets real. During the pandemic, when people lost jobs, when companies laid off thousands overnight, what saved them? Their networks, their professional communities. The people who vouched for them, shared their posts, made introductions. That's guild logic. In a world where institutions feel less and less reliable, people are returning to each other, not to titles, not to companies, but to circles of trust. People who say, I know your work. I believe in you. Let me help. And the wild thing, most of those relationships didn't start in boardrooms. They started in group chats, in Discord servers, in comment sections, in DMS that said, hey, I liked what you posted. We think we're building brands, but what we're actually building, if we're lucky, is brotherhood. And here's something most people don't realize. You don't need millions of followers. You just need 5 people who will say your name in a room full of opportunity. That's the modern guild. It's not a logo on a building. It's a reputation built brick by brick through integrity, collaboration, and follow-through. And you can't fake that. Trust is the new currency, and trust is built in tribes, not timelines. So what do we take away from all this? That networking isn't new. That connections aren't just about likes, follows, and cold DMs. What we're really craving is something deeper. Belonging, meaning, mutual respect. The blacksmith in 1350 and the freelance designer in 2025, they're not that different. Both are just trying to do good work, be seen, and survive in a world that moves fast and plays hard. And the ones who thrive, they find their guild, not just a job, not just a client, not just a clique, a circle of people who share their standards, push them to grow, and show up when things get hard. People who say, you're not alone in this. That's not networking. That's loyalty. That's culture. That's ancient. So next time you're on LinkedIn or wherever you build your world, don't just collect contacts. Don't just network. Build brotherhood. Build something that lasts. Build something that could outlive platforms, outlast trends, and still mean something 5 years from now. Because algorithms change, industries collapse, platforms die. But real community, real craft, that's timeless. And if the monks who labored for years in cold scriptoria taught us anything, it's that what lasts, what matters, takes time, care, and people who give a damn. If this episode sparked something in you, drop a comment and tell us, who's part of your modern guild? Is it your creative circle, your old coworkers, your Discord crew? Let's bring this ancient tradition into the future, together. And hey, don't forget to hit that bell icon. Even guilds had town criers.